George Soros. Hon FBA is a Hungarian-born American billionaire investor and philanthropist as of May 2020. He had a net worth of $8.3 billion, having donated more than $32 billion to the Open Society foundations, of which $15 billion have already been distributed, representing 64% of his original fortune, making him the most generous giver, according to Forbes. Born in Budapest, Soros survived the German occupation of Hungary and moved to the United Kingdom in 1947. He studied at the London School of Economics and was awarded a bachelor's, then obtaining a master's, and eventually a Doctor of Philosophy from University of London. Soros began his business career by taking various jobs at merchant banks in the United Kingdom and then the United States, before starting his first hedge fund, Double Eagle, in 1969. Profits from his first fund furnished the seed money to start Soros Fund Management, his second hedge fund, in 1970. Double Eagle was renamed to Quantum Fund and was the principal firm Soros advised. At its founding, Quantum Fund had $12 million in assets under management, and as of 2011 it had $25 billion, the majority of Soros's overall net worth. Soros is known as the man who broke the Bank of England, because of his short sale of 10 United States dollars billion worth of pounds sterling, which made him a profit of $1 billion during the 1992 Black Wednesday UK currency crisis. Based on his early studies of philosophy, Soros formulated the general theory of reflexivity for capital markets, which he says renders a clear picture of asset bubbles and fundamental market value of securities, as well as value discrepancies used for shorting and swapping stocks. Soros is a supporter of progressive and liberal political causes, to which he dispenses donations through his foundation, the Open Society Foundations. Between 1979 and 2011, he donated more than $11 billion to various philanthropic causes. By 2017, his donations, on civil initiatives to reduce poverty and increase transparency, and on scholarships and universities around the world, totaled $12 billion. He influenced the collapse of communism in Eastern Europe in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and provided one of Europe's largest higher education endowments to the Central European University. In his Hungarian hometown, his extensive funding of political causes has made him a bugaboo of European nationalists. The New York Times reported in October 2018 that conspiracy theories about him have gone mainstream to nearly every corner of the Republican Party. Numerous American conservatives have promoted false claims that characterize Soros as a singularly dangerous puppet master behind many alleged global plots. Conspiracy theories targeting Soros, who is of Jewish descent, have often been described as anti-Semitic. Soros was born in Budapest in the Kingdom of Hungary to a prosperous non-observant Jewish family, who, like many upper-middle-class Hungarian Jews at the time, were uncomfortable with their roots. Soros has wryly described his home as a Jewish anti-Semitic home. His mother Erzsébet came from a family that owned a thriving silk shop. His father Tivadar was a lawyer and a well-known Esperanto speaker who edited the Esperanto literary magazine Literatura Mondo and raised his son to speak the language. Tivadar had also been a prisoner of war during and after World War I until he escaped from Russia and rejoined his family in Budapest. The two married in 1924. In 1936, Soros's family changed their name from the German Jewish Schwarz to Soros, as protective camouflage in increasingly anti-Semitic Hungary. Tivadar liked the new name because it is a palindrome and because of its meaning. In Hungarian, Soros means next in line or designated successor. In Esperanto it means will soar. Soros was 13 years old in March 1944 when Nazi Germany occupied Hungary. The Nazis barred Jewish children from attending school, and Soros and the other schoolchildren were made to report to the Judenrat, which had been established during the occupation. Soros later described this time to writer Michael Lewis. The Jewish Council asked the little kids to hand out the deportation notices. I was told to go to the Jewish Council And there I was given these small slips of paper. I took this piece of paper to my father. He instantly recognized it. This was a list of Hungarian Jewish lawyers. He said, "You deliver the slips of paper and tell the people that if they report they will be deported." Soros did not return to that job. His family survived the war by purchasing documents to say that they were Christians. Later that year at age 14, Soros posed as the Christian godson of an official of the collaborationist Hungarian government's Ministry of Agriculture, who himself had a Jewish wife in hiding. On one occasion, rather than leave the 14-year-old alone, the official took Soros with him while completing an inventory of a Jewish family's confiscated estate. Tivadar saved N.